I'm about to experience something not a lot of civilians get to experience. I'm about to board the USS Nimitz. The Nimitz is the largest carrier in America's fleet of carriers. I'm excited. I haven't been on a carrier since I dated a girl with Lyme disease. And pretty soon, these Navy flyboys is going to take me on an airplane and fly me right on the carrier. Wait a minute, they're going to fly me on the carrier? It's not docked here, so we're going to land on it. Let me go get another pair of underwear.
Now, being a fighter pilot is the glamorous part of the U.S. Navy. But I'm about to experience the other side of fighter life and join the gritty blue-collar sailors that keep this nuclear-powered aircraft carrier in ship shape. I did say ship, right? My first challenge, well, it's a scary little trip on a prop plane just to get out to the Nimitz.
You gotta keep your head down.
Not only that, but you're sitting backwards from the direction the plane is flying. As I sat there with my lungs and my bowels, I thought about the safety meeting we had earlier.
You guys will come down at about 500 to 600 feet per minute rate of descent. And then when you stop, you're gonna hit the deck, and the airplane will go from just over 100 miles an hour to 0 in about 1.5 seconds.
Oh. I did not like to hear that, America. And these aircraft carrier runways are just a fraction of what your standard runway is. So these planes need to stop by hooking onto cables. And they don't have them little bottles of liquor.
I gotta tell you, I was dizzy. My heart was beating like I was gonna have a heart attack. I was sweating so bad you could have caught a bass in my pants. But hey, I survived the landing.
How you doing? All right, welcome aboard. Thank you. I hope I didn't miss my connection. Yep, we're gonna take this.
Then I look around and I realize I'm on a big, dangerous floating war machine. I can't believe this thing.
We get you nice and greasy today.
Wow. Now, first things first. To work the flight deck, I'm gonna get outfitted in a specially colored shirt.
If this ain't attractive, I don't know what is.
So what we're going to talk about right now is the first thing is going to save your life. If you fall over the side, which we don't intend to do.
I hope not.
Okay, this right here, you got ink, dye marker, and basically if you go in the water, you want to open this up and there's going to be a green pool all around you. Then you got this right here, which is called a Moby. That's basically a satellite tracking system. It's saltwater activated, you fall in, it's going to start blinking and it's going to start telling people where you're at if we need to get you. Over here is the auto inflation. Okay, this right here is the CO2 device. It's going to shoot CO2 up through here. It's going to go all the way up through and up to the top.
Okay, I'm not getting close enough to the edge, though, that I might fall in.
Well, no, I assure you, myself and Carlos will take care of it, and you'll be good to go.
Okay.
No, yeah, we don't plan to do that either.
All right. Now, your first danger on the Nimitz has to be your eardrums, because those jet engines can reach decibels of 160. That's 50 decibels more than the front row at a rock concert, or 100 decibels more than a porta potty at a chili cook-off.
Now, the flight deck crew got a lot to worry about. They have to keep clear of jets screaming in and out, they got to avoid getting chopped up by giant propellers, and they got to stay behind the jet blast deflectors, which protect them from the scorching heat coming out of the back of the plane. Oh, yeah, this job's a piece of cake. Now, they're broken up into a bunch of color-coded units. The yellow shirts are the main directors of movement on the deck. Green shirts are in charge of arresting cables. Red shirts signify ordnance man, and the white ones are mostly safety and medical personnel. Now is the part where the United States Navy sends old Larry out to be a different kind of cable guy. I'm working with fellow Greeny Carlos and his guys to basically catch fighter jets with wires. And the first thing I do is screw up. Hey, like I said, it's dangerous. They even had somebody on our camera crew at all times. If you walked into the wrong spot at the wrong time, you're toast. Now, what these sailors do is make sure 4 cables laid across the deck are at the exact right tension for the plane that's coming in. Now, the pilot aims his tail hook for the cable, and when the hook engages, the plane goes from 150 miles an hour to 0 in a couple of seconds.
So like I said, we do it in the cold, we do it in the rain, we do it in the heat, we do it all over the world. That's the F-18 right there.
Really? Now, the F-18's a real deal, and it's one of our most successful fighter planes ever, and it's fast. It can go over 1,300 miles an hour.
How many times a day you do this? Thousands. All right, good go. Just touch and go. Go, right?
Now, underneath the deck, those cables are connected to a gigantic hydraulic system that serves as a giant shock absorber. That's how you stop a 54,000-pound plane in 2 seconds. Think Al Gore in suspenders.
So now it's time to move on to my next color.
Oompa, oompa, oompa dee dee.
Larry, this is Senior Chief Gary Nolan. He's going to be taking you out on the flight deck. When you go out there, he's going to be giving you direction. So he's going to tap you on each side. So this would mean this way. This would mean
this way.
There you go.
All right. Okay, so if you hit me here,
that arm goes
then I'll
up.
go like this. Oh, like this?
Yeah.
Okay, not like, oh,
this.
somebody farted. Like this.
Yeah.
All right.
The catapult is another thing to be very careful with. This is basically a long track on the runway with little shuttles that attach to the plane. The steam pressure on the thing is 520 pounds per square inch, and that'll thrust the plane down the runway right into the air. You're gonna go from 0 to 165 in 2 seconds. The yellow shirts get the planes in the right spots. Now it's my turn to launch me some planes.
Like I am. Okay, keep your feet over it, like mine. All right, there you go. Because the shuttle's got to come between your legs. Put your hand up. All right. All right, you've got to pass through the airplane. When you pass through the airplane, start correct and straight.
Folks, I cannot tell you how absolutely definite it is out there. I mean, that's why they rely on hand signals to communicate. Those signals from the sailors in yellow are the only way the pilots know that they're clear of all objects and people. That's the thing the Navy refers to as controlled chaos. And I can't believe I am right in the middle of it.
We are truly at all power as long as it's local. One thing that does it makes me proud to be American and see all this stuff and to know that we're the country that did all this. Best in the world. This job here is called pulling gear, and what we're going to do is clear the LA so we can catch that airplane right there. All right?
They can hurl the plane every 40 seconds off this thing if all goes well. And my job now is to help direct the traffic. Well, I'm glad they know what they're doing, though, because I sure don't.
Flight deck's crazy, but what's crazier than that, it's controlled by one person, the aircraft handler on flight deck control.
Right now we're in flight deck control, the center of operations.
Okay.
We got the handler over there, Regina Rogers. She's a little bit preoccupied with flight operations, so we'll try to see if we can't steal a second of her time. But
all right.
Now, as the handler, Regina's in charge of all flight operations on the deck, and since planes fly in and out every minute, she's constantly busy.
This is a pretty intense job right here.
This is called the Ouija board, and it's a scale model of the flight deck. All the templates you see are scale models of the aircraft. Everything that's going on outside on the flight deck is actually going on in here.
They fly pretty much around the clock.
Right. She's usually up about between 6 and 9 in the morning, then she doesn't go down until we get done flying, which is usually about 0200 in the morning.
So she'll be here from about 10 o'clock in the morning till about 2 in the morning.
Yes, sir.
I've been in since 1986, so I've been in for a little over 23 years. I came in right out of high school. When I came in, I was undesignated, and then just from E1, you know, just worked my way up.
Coming right out of high school is pretty typical in the service. Now, the average age of them sailors doing all those hazardous jobs on the flight deck is 19.
In 1905, a 20-year-old kid joined the Navy as a midshipman. He worked his way all the way up to be Commander-in-Chief of the Pacific Forces during World War II. His name was Chester Nimitz. Oh, what are the odds he does all that, and there's a boat named Nimitz, too? Crazy.
you want to take off that hot board?
You know, yeah, I think I will. I don't want to. I find it to be very attractive. I look like a fat banana in this one, so I'm going to take it off.
The USS Nimitz is a world unto itself. They got a barber shop, a general store, 6 doctors, 3 huge hangars, and the kitchen serves 20,000 meals a day. I'm on my way to see the commander of this ship, Captain Paul Munger.
Captain.
Hey, how you doing?
Wow, unbelievable. We didn't drop any planes, so we did pretty good down there.
No, you did great. I was watching you down there. It's a great experience to be out there on the flight
You know
deck.
what, it really is, and I would like to, there's no way to really explain what it's like, but it is by far the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. Now, is this a 24-hour-a-day operation?
We have one crew that's out there running the flight deck.
Right.
And they're going to get tired and they're going to get worn out, and so we'll fly for typically on deployment for 12 hours out of the day. This is dangerous, but you do this at night, it is even much more dangerous. You can walk around out there, you can't see stuff, you have to wait till your eyes get adjusted, and it's really even scarier at night being out there, believe it or not.
Wow.
And one of the most important things we do up here is we keep this thing going straight, on the right heading, so the winds are all good.
So the last thing I get to do is actually drive the Nimitz.
At a cost of $4.5 billion, this machine has now become the most expensive thing that I've ever driven in my life. And it's the only thing I've ever driven that's been powered by 2 nuclear reactors. Oh, but this thing will get some chicks. You sure you want me to do this, Captain?
It's easy, there's nothing to it.
All engines ahead, 2/3.
Indicate 060 RPM.
Indicate 060 RPM.
All right.
Pretty good?
Pretty good, perfect. Yeah, shake it back and forth.
Shake it back and forth.
Shake it back and forth. All it does is bring your rudders back together.
I'm kind of uncomfortable with this whole conversation. Gotta tell you. All right. Now, what's the roughest seas that you get some pretty rough seas?
I've had some coming back from deployment where the ship was, you could actually feel it move up here.
Really? But no Deadliest Catch kind of guy.
Oh, no.
Oh, I can't mention that. It's another network. No. But nothing to wear the water.
Not from what I've heard.
Okay, well, cool. That is awesome. I appreciate you letting me drive it. I'm glad you didn't crash nothing or hurt nobody. So thank you so much.
I don't know about you, but it's just good to know there's a big ship out there somewhere that doesn't have a juggler or a magician on it. But if you ever question the greatness of America, then you need to come out to the Nimitz and see the thousands of your fellow citizens making it work. I'll guarantee you one thing, you'll be proud to be an American after that.
After all the craziness and danger of the USS Nimitz, I had to find something great about America that was quiet, safe, and involved comfort.